Good morning. This is Susan, and this is Susan's Ramblings. I am continuing with my 50 plus gratitude challenge. This is part 3. I'm going back to what I ended up with last time. My YouTube friends. I have many subscribers. I'd love more, so share this with everybody. Bacon Lake. And then we got Joel from the State Gardeners, I believe it's called. I have my subscribers who always report. And I tell you, I am very, very grateful to all of them. But I sure would like to reach 500, okay? Another thing I'm grateful for is my Facebook friends. Now, I don't do much with Facebook anymore. But I have friends there. We shared recipes. We shared our life. We shared both happy and unhappy events. And we supported each other. Especially Helen from Texas, Gloria from Tennessee, Sherry from Illinois, and then we had Mary, who is sadly passed, Jean, who is in St. Louis, I believe. Those are the basic ones that I interacted with, communicated with, besides all my local friends and so forth. It was a way for us to keep in family. It was a way for us to keep up with what was happening in our lives. But I've kind of gotten away from that. Perhaps I'll go back, but as of now, I really have no intention of going back. All right, the next thing I'm grateful for, we're on 29, I believe. My dehydrator. Oh boy, I don't know what I would do without my dehydrator. In fact, I've got 2 of them. I have one small one that was bought, I don't know how many years ago. And it is very, very useful. I had one that actually died on me a month ago. And so I ordered a new one. And I've unboxed it, but I haven't used it yet. But my dehydrators are going, especially this time of the year, almost 24/7. So they're hard workers. I work them hard. So it's no wonder that one died on me. But anyway, I have the dehydrated food. I have dehydrated meals that I can just put water together, and it's very easy to make. I dehydrate everything, and then a lot of it I make into powder. Powder I can add to anything. The only thing I don't dehydrate really are eggs. I tried it, and I ended up with bugs in my eggs. And I decided that was enough of that. I was not going to dehydrate any eggs. So instead, with the egg shortage that we had, after eggs became available at a cheaper price, I started freezing them. So I have a bunch in the freezer. I'm not going to do without eggs again, period. That's it. I dehydrate them. I don't dehydrate them. I freeze them, okay? So I have a freezer full of eggs, but at least if my eggs shoot up in price like they're supposed to, like they're predicting, I will have eggs to cook with. I won't be able to have a fried egg, but I will be able to have scrambled eggs, and scrambled eggs is what I use the most. To freeze them, I just beat them and put them in a silicone cups, baking cups, in a muffin tin. Freeze them, and then I just take them out and I put them in a Ziploc bag. in my freezer. So, my freezer is full of almost anything except meat. I can't afford the meat, okay? And the meat I do get is canned. So there we go with that. Oh, that leads into my next thing I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for my Instapot and my, basically, the canner, electric canner. I have pressure canned, I don't know, everything. Meat especially. And since I, by myself, one jar of meat will last me 2 or 3 meals because it does. So there are some that you don't need all that meat. I'm sorry people are going to object to that, saying, but you don't need all that meat. Sometimes all you need is just a little bit of meat to flavor it with, or a little bit of meat to be stretched with vegetables or into a soup. Our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents had soup almost on the stove almost every day. And they added whatever they had left over. They had leftover meat that went into the soup pot. They had leftover vegetables, no matter, even if it was just 1 or 2 beans or peas, it went into the soup pot. You had the liquid from the vegetables that went into the soup pot. Of course, in that time, they canned a lot. So, they canned all the vegetables. So, they went into the soup pot. So you see, that's how we have to learn to live again, especially with our high prices. Okay, next one. I'm going into it again. Knowledge of scratch cooking. That means I can take anything in my cupboard and make it into something else. For example, I found a recipe that had corned beef in. Now, I don't like corned beef, but I substituted Spam for it, and it was good. You take a recipe, a basic recipe, and you change it to what your family likes and to what you like. A recipe is just a guide for you. It isn't meant to be completely followed, except when you come to the baking goods. When you bake, that is kind of a procedure. You have to bake according to the direction and to the ingredients, just simply because it is such a precise operation, and it won't come out. But your basic recipes, such as soups, such as hot dishes, such as so forth, fill it up with vegetables, carrots, potatoes, so forth. I'm assuming you have them all in your cupboard, in your pantry. But you know what assume means? If you don't, write it out and look. Okay? Assume. That's where I get into trouble all the time. I assume something, and you know what? Not right. Okay? So I have the knowledge of scratch cooking. That means I can take a recipe, or if I don't ever even have a recipe, I can just take whatever is in my cupboard, my pantry, my refrigerator, and make a meal for myself. That means I don't use processed food. Macaroni and cheese made by making a white sauce, adding cheese, and then add a macaroni. And a lot of my cheap recipes that we're going to come up with. I got a hot dog thing out, hot dog recipes, soup recipes, ramen noodles recipes. All those will become, as a Persian recipes, they will all be coming up in a series after I finish this series. So, you don't have to follow a recipe exactly, except like I said in baking. Substitute what you have in your pantry. Substitute what your family likes. And you might come up with a family favorite. Okay, next one is knowledge of food preservation. Now I've been canning since I was 20 years old. My mother-in-law basically showed me how to can. Yes, my mother canned, but, as children, as young adults, as children, we didn't pay much attention to it. Or when we actually got in high school or college, we had jobs. Or at least I had a job. I started working when I was 15 years old. And I worked until I was not able to work anymore, 62. My health gave out on me. But I've worked all those years. And anyway, while I was working, I really didn't pay much attention to what Mom was doing. Yes, I knew she was doing it. Yes, I knew it was in jars in the basement for us to eat. I knew all that, but I didn't know how to do it. And so my mother-in-law showed me the basics. And at that time, I didn't have a pressure cooker. But everybody's going to object to this one too. But we used the water bath, and we would cook for 3 hours. Use the water bath for 3 hours for meat and for vegetables. That meant when I came home from work, I had to put the jars together, put them in the water bath, and get to the boiling and boil them for 3 hours. And believe me, that made some late nights. The children would go pick what I wanted from the garden while I was working, such as peas. I told them to go get peas one day, and I came home from work and there were no peas. For some reason, I happened to get off early that day, and I got home and no peas. I was a little upset. Anyway, I sent him out to the garden, and we had about 5 acres of a garden. And I sent him out to the garden to get peas. And I sent him out with a little basket. And next thing I knew, one of them come running back, and they took the wagon, and they took a bushel basket. And the next time I saw them, they had the peas, and they had a bushel of peas. Yeah. Well, anyway, the peas didn't get done that night. But the next morning, I had my son, Prince Charles and Princess Diana were getting married. And of course, they were getting married at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And my son really wanted to watch that. I don't know how old he was, but he really wanted to watch that. So when I got up that morning to go to work, I woke him so he could watch that wedding on TV. And while he was watching it, he was shelling peas. Anyway, I left for work, and about an hour later, I got a call from my ex-husband saying, "Isn't there an easier way to do these peas?" And I said, "Well, I have no idea." And he said, "Can I put them in the wringer, washing machine?" And I said, "What do you mean by that?" He said, "Well, run them through the wringer." I said, "No, don't run them through the wringer. You're going to crush the peas." So anyway, I don't know how they finished up the peas, but when I got home that night, the peas were done and ready for me to can. The peas. There was one time I sent them out for radishes, and again, they came home with a bushel basket full of radishes. Boy, I had to scramble for that. I don't remember what I did with them, but I probably gave them away. Okay. But anyway, I learned to preserve food during that time, and it fed my family. That's what we did in those days, in those olden days when I was 20, 30, 40 years old. We had big gardens, and we preserved all our food, so we would have enough to get through for the winter. In fact, we took out an FHA loan to purchase some land, I believe. I don't know what it was for anymore. But anyway, one of the things we had to do was keep track of how much food we preserved. And it was amazing. You go 7 jars at a time, and it built up in a hurry. And that was one of the ways they judged that we would be able to pay our loan off. Okay, next one. 33 I've got. The computer and my tablet, where I'd be lost without them. You know, my tablet and my phone both gave out earlier, in December sometime, and I was completely lost. I got a phone, got that, I used that, but I had to learn to use the phone in order to do any videos. And about that time, I got sick, and my health deteriorated really fast there for a couple months, for several months. So I didn't really use much with the phone. Every once in a while I would do. I got a new tablet, and I got the tablet through the government. I answered some questions, and since I'm such low income, and believe me, I'm low income, I got the tablet. And I get to use it as long as I search. The main thing is I have to search on the internet for at least one time during the month, and otherwise, and then I keep it. Otherwise, I don't know what happens. I have to send it back, I don't know. But anyway, but then I had saved enough money to get a computer, a laptop. But so I've got a laptop. I haven't, it's unboxed, but I haven't tried it. I haven't set it up yet, okay? I came to a spot where I'm completely baffled, and I'm not technically, let's say I'm challenged by technology. So I don't know how to do that, and so I'm going to have to get my grandson over here, who can solve almost any problem with your computer. So I have to get him over here to get it set up. But anyway, then I'm looking forward to that because I can use it to do a lot more things with that computer. Okay. The next thing I'm thankful for is water. You know, there's a lot of water, a lot of cities that have been without water or something's wrong with their water. In fact, in South Dakota, about 50 miles from us, that city has problems with their drinking water, and they're advising tap water. And they're saying it is disease-borne. That means don't drink it, drink it. I would assume it has to be boiled before it could be cooked. Anyway, there are several cities that's been in the news because their water supply has been poisoned or has chemicals in it or something like that. And I'm lucky I have the water that I can use for now. Next thing, and this will be my last one, is electricity. I don't know where we would be without electricity. Electricity runs everything. And if the grid goes down like they're predicting, a lot of us are going to be in trouble. That is why I'm canning everything I can get my hand on. Canning and dehydrating. So I don't have much in my freezer to lose, okay? So anyway, electricity, water, food. Those are the basic needs. Clothes to wear. Those are basically all you need. All you need. The rest of the things you have are wants, not needs. I'll get in trouble for that too. Alright, I'm going to get in trouble with a lot of these things I said today. But anyway, that's it for today. We'll continue tomorrow. Have a great day. God bless.